NOMOS Glashütte hasn't won hundreds of design awards by standing still. Its success lies in a commitment to the brand's principles and a deep-rooted, consistent and considered aesthetic. Following the fall of the Iron Curtain, private business returned to Germany's watchmaking hub of Glashütte near Dresden. And in 1990, NOMOS Glashütte was born, making clean and simple mechanical watches. This kind of product design is almost ubiquitous today, but in the luxury watch world of the early 90s, it was a brave, bold statement. By establishing such a clear vision and sticking to it faithfully, NOMOS has proved it's possible to build a brand around understated design. So much so that 2 decades later, it opened up a design studio in Berlin, literally and metaphorically leagues away from the industrial heartland of Glashütte watchmaking. That duality remains fundamental to the brand's appeal, and the direct descendants from NOMOS's launch collection show how a few guiding principles have underpinned everything the brand has created since. The Tangente is the archetypal NOMOS watch. It's one of the first designs the brand ever completed with the help of graphic designer Ms. Susanna Gunther, and perhaps still the purest expression of NOMOS's design language. The original Tangente was 35mm across, and while today's models come in different sizes and colours, the key details remain the same. It is instantly recognisable by its alternating Arabic numerals and baton markers, and the thin, angular lugs. The juxtaposition of lines, angles and curves is a constant theme of the NOMOS range, and this watch is the perfect introduction to many of the brand's signature touches. A round case with no bezel, clean, Bauhaus-influenced typography, and a small seconds subdial at 6 o'clock. Like every NOMOS until 2019, it comes on a strap, which consciously reinforces the brand's commitment to simplicity and minimalism. At first glance, the Ludwig might resemble the Tangente only with Roman numerals. And that's no bad thing. The lugs still extend straight out from the case, but here they curve around the wrist. And, unlike the Tangente's cylindrical case profile, the Ludwig's case is smooth and rounded like a pebble. The Ludwig's dial is a masterclass in balance and simplicity. The slenderness of the Roman numerals and the sparse minute track, together with the lack of a date window, leaves plenty of white space against which the colour of the hands and circular grain texture of the second subdial can really stand out. The Ludwig family spans a wide range of case sizes and movements. This 39mm model, reference 250, houses NOMOS's own automatic caliber DUW 3001 and is why we find the word Neomatic on the dial. The third of NOMOS's original designs remains one of its most popular, the Orion. With similar basic characteristics to the Tangente and Ludwig, it's obvious that here was a company that wanted to focus on elegant, slimline watches. The kind of thing that will serve you well in the office, at the theatre, or in a fine restaurant. The key traits are all here. In fact, they're exaggerated, with these super slim hour markers and tapered lugs. This gives the Orion a clear identity of its own and introduces a dressier side to the brand. There are the same stick-thin blued steel hands as elsewhere, but the dial is the simplest of all NOMOS designs, sporting just baton markers, and in around half of Orion models, they're gold, for a slightly more flamboyant touch. On this newer 41mm Neomatic version, numerals indicate the minutes, but on the original Orion you don't even have that. The lugs are particularly distinctive, tapering almost to a point, and contribute to an impression that the watch is a little larger than its case diameter would suggest. Although even with an automatic movement, this Orion is still only 9mm thick, so it's guaranteed to be a discreet presence on one's wrist. Mr. Uwe Arendt, the NOMOS Glashütte CEO, has spoken about how the brand's designs go beyond Bauhaus. The Orion is structurally as simple as the Tangente, but adds a warmth, and vibrancy not always associated with the eponymous art school's approach. What's clear across the entire NOMOS range are the characteristics which have underpinned everything the brand has created since 1990. Namely, an adherence to 20th century ideals of form and function, shape and colour, and in the Orion especially, something which would develop over time, an understanding of how to be expressive and luxurious without losing its down-to-earth character.